folks, here's the latest banjo uke I've just fixed up. Smashing little item. I know I do say this about most of my banjo ukes, that I go on about them how brilliant they are, but I'm really sorry that they are. They all sound nice. Anyway, this is a Melody Junior made by George Houghton and Sons, GHS, 1920s. Lovely little model. This is quite unusual because do you see the word gallow tone here? Well, they were a South African firm, distributors, and what's happened is GHS has made a Melody Junior, sent it all the way to South Africa, and then Gallow Tone have put their branding on it, sent it back to be resold in England. So it's got a nice little bit of history, this one. Let me just go through. I've completely taken this apart, put a lovely new skin on it, a nice thick calf skin. Be wary of the like thin ones that are going around. This is a nice one. And this has got the original tuners. Can you see them here? These are gorgeous. They're made of Bakelite. It's a mottled Bakelite, and they're an Art Deco shape. I think these are quite pleasant. I do like these. Anyway, I've refitted these, put a couple of extra washers so they hold the tuning and work smoothly. I put a new nut here, and importantly made the spacings between each string equidistant. Some of them sort of haven't been done very well, and there you find some are close, but these are just right. I've adjusted the action. That is the height of the strings above the neck, and this is done by adjusting the angle of this drum to this neck. I've set this at a sort of quite a low action for doing all the Formby strumming, but what I do, I supply extra bridges with my banjo ukes so you can vary the height. Basically, the higher it is, the higher the bridge, the louder it is, the lower it is, the easier it is to strum. Also on this one, I fitted a Gibson type tailpiece. Can you see? These are really good because they hide the knot ends, which means when you're strumming you don't get the knot ends rubbing on your arm. That's really, and also it's very easy to fit strings. You can just tie a knot in the end of the string and just stick it in the gap there. These are sort of very simple, but I think they make a lot of difference. And whereabouts you strum along the neck does add to the tone of the or add to the volume. Down here, down towards the bridge, you find it's more mellow, and up here it's louder. So you can vary. And a little tip for some of you: if you notice, I've got the sleeve rolled up here. I'm not being macho. It's just it stops the sleeve dangling on the vellum here. Sometimes I see people playing and they have their sleeve touching this, and this dulls the tone quite a lot. I've it's got the back resonator on here, and it's held on by a couple of nuts there and there. So you can play this with the back off if you want, and it does change the tone a lot. My dad used to use his chest or his stomach here as a resonator, hold it against it and then take it away to vary it. You could get a wow-wow effect if you want. He was sort of known as a Jimi Hendrix of the banjo uke. No, not really. I fitted my own strings here. They're coloured strings, which they're not as loud as Aquila's, but they're very soft on the fingers, very good for beginners, and they do have a sweet tone, I think. Here are my strings. There they are, they're called Little Barneys because that's what my dad called me, Barney. And there I am. What do you think? I think I was about 3 there. Not changed. And I also supply with this a very simple tuner. Very easy to work. And comes in a case. I've fixed this. This case was in bad nick, but what I've done, I've put some. It's still a bit tatty, but it's all there. I've got to put another. Before I send it out, I'm going to put another clasp here, so it'll have 2 clasps. It'll lock all right. But I've put that inside. It works like that. I've had to do a little repair just here, but it looks a little bit tatty, but it's all there. It'll do the job anyway. And nothing much. It is a lovely, nicely weighted, classic sort of George Formby style. These ones, you know, these when you say banjo, this is the sort of shape you think of. And bear in mind you've got Christmas coming up, so if you're going to get a present for somebody, you want it to work nicely. I've tuned this to G, C, E, A. No, yeah, G, C, E, A. That's standard tuning. But the old timers used to use a slightly higher tuning. It was similar but just a bit higher, and the reason was to throw out more volume, because a lot of the early music halls didn't have any amplifiers, so I used to throw out you needed to throw out the volume. That's why it's tuned differently. And my dad used to use that tuning in a lot of the old music sheets. But I'll tune this to the old-fashioned tuning. You can hear the difference in the sound. So a G becomes A. The C becomes D. The E string becomes F sharp, and the A string becomes B. See, that's it, throws it more of a sharper sound. And if you want the old-fashioned tuning, you can still use these tuners. All you do is you put the switch to chromatic and you just tune to the relevant notes. Let's see what it sounds like with that tuning anyway. There you go. If you need any help with banjo ukes, any advice in buying them or fitting them up, I'm your man. I'll help you. I won't charge an arm and a leg. Just charge you a leg. Okay, this will be on eBay soon, and if you need to get in touch with me, check out jasperhappy@hotmail.com. Thanks for listening. Bye.